Good evening, everybody. Today's session is mainly for students who are thinking to retake CLAT. Now, I have been receiving a lot of calls from parents, from students, even from few faculty members. So what I did was I actually went ahead and I noted down a couple of questions which they have sent across to me, and I thought, why not address them one by one? And after listening to such a lot of queries, I thought it'll be always good to tell all of them in one go, that how it can be addressed or how it can be taken care of. So the one of the biggest query that came up was, should I or shouldn't? Should I take CLAT or should I not take? Or is it okay whatever I'm getting? जो भी NLU मिल रहा है, जो भी college या law college मिल रहा है, can I go with that? या फिर I should be attempting CLAT all over again in 2023. So this is one major question that should be looked onto. At the same time, we also got another question: what should be my strategy? What should be my study plan if I have to retake CLAT all over again? Again, we would be addressing this question. At the same time, we got another query which was a little different than the normal ones, that the student is getting pressurized from the family, pressurized from the parents, pressurized from the friends who have already got admissions into top NLUs. So the particular student is getting pressurized whether he should be taking CLAT all over again. What is going to be the score if he altogether retakes it? What if he is not able to do the same thing? Will I be able to handle that kind of a pressure? I felt an important question that should be answered again. At the same time, I had few students who came up with that. They have been preparing for 2 years. There were students who prepared for 1 year. There have been students who have been taking care of their 12th standard examination along with their CLAT preparation. So some of them underwent some kind of crash courses. So they prepared, and now they are confused whether I should still go ahead doing the same thing all over again or not. Again, a very valid question to look onto. Will 4 months is enough? Will I be able to succeed well in 4 months? Will I be able to cater to the exam better? Will it be possible for me to answer and solve CLAT paper much better than what happened last time in just 4 months? Because what is this now? August, September, October, November, and December. We just got 4 months left. Is 4 months enough to prepare? Let's see. We would actually look onto that in a while. And finally, there was a question that, what if I won't succeed? In fact, let me tell you, this was one of the biggest questions what made me come up with this video for you, or this session. What if I won't succeed? What will I do if the result is still the same? And then, though I answered the question, though I was able to convince the student at that point of time, but I still thought this is not going to be just one student who has this kind of a doubt. There'll be many students who might be undergoing the same trauma, who might be having the same kind of questions. There were many who came up with a lot of other questions, but I thought if I'm able to answer these questions, this will sum up to a huge relaxation or a relief for people who are thinking to take CLAT 2023 as a reattempt. Okay, so going forward, so I thought the first question what I should answer is, should I take CLAT 2023 all over again, or is it better that I continue with whatever result I have? There are many students who are still awaiting for CET results. Many of them already got through their CLAT scores, their IELTS scores, their LSATs and syllabus scores. So many got through it, but there are still some of them who are looking onto it. My simplest answer to this particular question is, if law is the only thing that is there in your mind, and let me be very specific to you, When I say law, I'm actually talking about only law. If this is what you are looking forward for, and law is the only career that you want, law is the only option that you want to succeed with, and if you have not got into one of your top dreamt law colleges, the dream college, the dream law school that you have been looking at, it can be NLSIU, it can be Nalsar, it can be New Delhi, it can be any of it, any of the top colleges, and you did not get it, and law is what you want, then you should definitely go for CLAT 2023. Do not consider it as a retake. Let me again say, go ahead again for CLAT 2023. Whatever was the result in the previous examinations, irrespective of that. If you are wanting to have law as a career and you want to get into your dream college, go ahead. Go ahead with it. However, the biggest part which you need to take care of it, believe in yourself. If you still believe that you are still going to do it, if you still believe that, yes, even in this reattempt, I can make it, then you should definitely reattempt. Then you should definitely retake CLAT 2023. Just with the belief, it will not help you, right? सिर्फ अपने आप पे भरोसा होने से काम नहीं होगा. You will also have to put a significant effort into it. There is, in fact, a lot of effort would be required this time, because you already know what you have done in the past. You already prepared to a maximum level. I'm sure whenever you wanted to give or whenever you gave your previous examination, your consideration was कि मेरी पढ़ाई पूरी हो चुकी है एक हद तक. And then I went ahead and I gave CLAT 2022. That means this time your efforts are going to be double, triple, maybe 4 times. If you are ready to make that kind of a significant effort, you should go ahead again for CLAT 2023. Again, you should have an indomitable spirit in you. You should have a kind of a fighting approach. You should have that at whatever be the situation. Irrespective of whether you succeed, whether you won't, I will still fight for it. I will give my best, and I have that spirit in me. Then my suggestion is you should go ahead with CLAT 2023. In fact, that reminds me about something. I have a video which I would love to show you all, specifically based on what if I won't succeed. So this is a video which I actually saw once I was surfing through YouTube, and I came across this video, and it actually, I like that video. So I thought we all should go through this video. So give me a second. So deeply listen to this video, watch this video, and think, where are you, and are you a part of this? If you are, then what are you going to do with this particular thing? Okay, so here we have the video.
Most people don't live their dream because they give up. You see, it's not the failure that stops us, but that most stop at their first failure. Those who succeed don't stop at 1 failure. They don't stop at 10 failures. They don't stop at 100, 1,000, or 1,000,000. They say, this is my goal, and I will do whatever it takes to achieve it. I will learn the lessons from any failures. I will learn faster. I will work harder. I will work smarter. And I will not quit until my dream is a reality. That's the difference between success and failure. Failure makes winners stronger. Failure makes winners hungrier. But it makes most give up. It makes most feel worthless. Winners don't enjoy failure, but they would never let failure stop them. Next time you encounter failure, you got to remember every great thing on this planet is here because the Creator learned what did work, but learned more from what did not work. When we are kids, we don't stop at failure. When we first learn to ride a bike, it's failure after failure. We get knocked down time after time, but we get up and push forward until we achieve our goal of riding the bike. But then we get old, and most of us get weak. We are too soft to get back on the bike. We come up with excuses. It must not be for me. No, you just soft. No, you just lazy. Tell yourself the truth. Get back on the bike. Learn why you failed, and make sure you don't fall again. Make sure you are stronger for having the lesson.
Failure is not the end of your story. It is the start of your comeback story. If failure was the end of your story, there would be no greats. Greats like Jordan, greats like Einstein, like Edison, like Oprah Winfrey. If these people stopped at failure, the world would not be filled with their greatness as it is today. Failure is nothing but a lesson to the winner. Failure is nothing but motivation to the winner. Failure is fuel. No one likes to fail, but the difference between those that win and those that lose in life is the winner decides a better meaning for their failure. They decide never again. They declare, I will be better next time. Don't let failure stop you. Let it grow you. Let it develop you. Failure is not the end. It's just the start. The start of your comeback story. The only way you can call it a failure is if you quit. If you keep going, it's only a hurdle. One you will overcome.
The only way you can fail is if you quit. Never quit. Keep pushing. You will get there in the end.
Failure doesn't exist in the mind of a champion. All it does is push them to a higher level. Are you a champion? Will you accept failure or keep going?
Learn the lessons, apply the lessons, come out stronger than before, and keep going.
Some people feel failure so much they never try. They never even start.
Some people give up right when they're about to succeed. They were so close, but they threw in the towel. Don't let that be you.
Thomas Edison didn't fail. He found 10,000 ways that did not work. Guess what? He only needed one way that did work. Einstein said, failure is success in progress. Failure is just one more way not to do something.
Keep going and you will succeed. Keep going and you will succeed.
Failure is not the end of your story. It is the start of your comeback story.
If you use failure as fuel, you can't really fail. If you use it as motivation, you cannot be defeated in the long term. If you use it to drive you, use it to make you, it can never break you. If you never accept defeat, you can never fail. Refuse to be defeated. Refuse to be defeated. Learn the lesson. Find a new path and a different way to your goal. There's always a way.
That was a nice video, isn't it? Now, there were so many things which were told in this particular video. Was there anything that was relevant to you? Especially for those ones who were like, what if I don't succeed? Let it be there if you don't succeed. At least it would be there that you made an attempt. Let it be there that you tried something, tried your best, you kept on going. And again, like the person said, Thomas Edison did not fail 1,000 times. He learned that there are the ways of not doing it. At least for you guys who are looking forward for taking CLAT 2023 all over again, at least you know one way of doing it. At least you know what went wrong. So to do any of these things, forget about all the other thoughts, forget about the negativity that is around you. become that strong, get that strength in you and get back onto it. 4 months, yes, it can be possible. Again, like I said, if that effort is going to come in. I am ready to give that effort to my students. If you are ready to get that thing out of yourself, we have a team who is ready to get that particular effort to you, if you are ready to do that. But before that, there's a lot of things which we still need to understand. First, if you are reattempting CLAT all over again, then this is what you need to figure out. What went wrong in the first place? Each of you might have studied hard. Each of you might have gone through your legal sections, your GK sections, mocked up all of things, practiced, did critical reasoning, attempted mocks, everything was done. What went wrong there? So when I tried figuring out, there could be only 3 major parameters wherein things can go wrong. Now there are a couple of students who are already there, right? There are 3 things. Either your planning went wrong. When I talk about your planning, it can be something like your schedules which were there, right? Probably your schedules were not matching up. It can be like the materials which you had, you didn't plan them properly. In fact, the material can also be a part of your preparation. You thought that the materials available to you is not enough for the preparation. So what I want is, why don't you tell me in the chat box all the 3 areas? The planning area went wrong, or what went wrong in the planning area, or what went wrong in the preparation area, or what went wrong in the practice area. When I mean practice area, it can also be like you were pretty busy with your 12 standard boards and you were not able to concentrate enough. You were not able to practice enough. That can also be a reason. But I want you to tell me what were the reasons that you think went wrong. It can even be the examination hall anxiety. I still know students who were doing so well in the mock, in fact, scoring maximum in the mock, but still could not do well just because maybe an anxiety, maybe something happened wrong there. So what went wrong according to you? At least for you, what went wrong? Let's try jotting it down. We will probably able to analyze it and get a solution to it. What went wrong? Write down in the chat box quickly so that we can talk about it, we can discuss about it. So we got Mishta is there, Sumit is there, Swami is there. What went wrong for y'all? What part of this stage went wrong according to you? Quickly. Okay. Swami says that the time, so you were not able to manage time. Let me put, in fact, time can be put somewhere in planning. You did not plan your time. The time management part didn't make up. So you mean that you did not get enough time in the examination, or you didn't get enough of time to prepare. So that means time can something be even here. Preparation time. Time can in fact even be here. You didn't get time to even practice. So Swami, what part you didn't get time? In the examination, or for the preparation, or for practicing? I'm still waiting for your answer. Examination. Okay. Now, if you did not get time in your examination, probably the initial planning did not work out well. You may not have given enough of mocks. You may not have practiced enough of mocks to cater to that kind of timing. Because this year's paper was not that difficult. It was still a doable paper. The challenges and the criticality, considering all of it. Okay, that is at one side of it. But still, now we know that at least for Swami, time is something that did not work. Rest, everything worked out. That means the only thing that you will have to take care of it is again time. If you're able to manage time properly, it will work out. As far as preparations are concerned, did you have enough content, enough what do you want to say, theory element to cover, you got to check that out. As far as planning is concerned, did you plan your days properly? Did you plan your weeks properly? Have you planned days and weeks into months? Like, for example, we have now 4 months with us. How well are we going to plan those 4 months? What kind of a strategy are we going to use to clear our paper or overcome all the challenges that we had or what we think went wrong? End of the day, it is still practice. Because most of you have gone through the entire theory. You know most of the elements. What you would need is practice. Okay, so moving ahead, what I again want would be, because many of you did not answer, jot down these 3 segments. You individually put it up from the planning point of view. Did I go wrong anywhere as far as planning is concerned? Did I go wrong anywhere as far as my preparations were concerned? Did I go wrong or did I miss anything as far as practice is concerned? If you're able to get answers for these 3, you will be able to find a solution, and that will help you to succeed, right? At the same time, is or will 4 months be enough for me to crack CLAT examination? What is today's date, by the way? 20th of August. And we have CLAT on December 18th, right? So mota if you say 115 odd days, yes. मेरे ख्याल से 16 से 17 हफ्ते, 16 to 17 weeks is that it comes out to, right? That is overall nothing but 2,760 odd hours. According to me, right, even if you are able to provide 1,000 hours, you would still be able to clear CLAT 2023 without any problem. Even in this next 4 months, you can still do it. If you did not get into the dream college, I am sure there is nothing that you are currently doing at the moment. Then you have all the time in the world to practice. If that's the case, 1,000 hours in the next 4 months is good enough for you to get through it. How? That is much more important, because it is pretty easy to say 1,000 hours. बोलने के लिए इंसान बोल देता है, but करना कैसे? So we have a small study plan which can help you to rectify it. What I did was I divided that 1,000 hours based on the number of weeks. Like we said, 16 to 17 odd weeks is what we have. So more or less, you should be able to complete your overall concept revision at least by Octoberish. In another 1.5, 2 odd months time, you should be able to complete it. So how I divided it is, every day, Monday to Friday, even if you are able to give 8 hours a day, we're talking about 8 hours out of 24 hours that you have, 8 hours a day, Monday to Friday, and the Saturdays and Sundays. Sundays, why specifically Saturdays and Sundays? Because Sundays would be a very good day for you to take the mock, because most of the time, in fact, CLAT always happens on Sundays. So excuse me a second, I think there's something wrong. One moment, there's a slight problem with the mic. Okay. Am I audible? Is it good enough? Alrighty, thank you. So Monday to Friday, 8 hours. Okay, this 8 hours is your self-study time. People who have joined coaching industries, people who have joined test series, people who have been doing buddy up studies and all those things. Excluding that, 8 hours you should be spending for your own self. Saturday and Sunday, 10 hours. Why additional 2 hours? Those 2 hours would be for your mocks. I would recommend to take at least 1 mock every Sunday. Especially Sunday, because that's the day when you are going to give your CLAT examination. In fact, I would even suggest you should be taking at the same time, the time that you actually give, so in the afternoon time, so that as far as the planning and the time management is concerned, you are very well aware that that is the situation, or this is going to be the exact surrounding and that time, and how are you going to spend that 2 hours. If you are able to plan that, you may be able to manage your time correctly. In the initial go, even if you're not able to score well, that is still fine. So Monday to Friday, 8 hours, Saturday and Sunday, 10 hours each, which makes it 60 hours. 60 hours a week. And what I need is 16 weeks, 16 to 17 weeks. And we are talking about nothing but 1,000 hours. Now this 1,000 hours, again, what I did is I have divided that 1,000 hours into some part of concepts, then your practice element along with the mocks. Now I will tell you why I did 300 hours, because I have designed a small program wherein we will be doing some kind of additional teaching with respect to concepts. So if you are able to get through the concepts, right? I'll come to the concept wala 300 hours in a bit at a bit later time, because it'll be easy for me to explain at that time. But as far as practice and as far as the mock tests are concerned, you would still need to get on with the practice. 400 hours, 300 hours of practice, 100 more hours of 300 hours of your concept, 400 hours of your practice. If you're able to combine this in this 60 hours week time, you would definitely be able to find it easy. Right now, probably your planning stages might not be at par. Right now, you might have not scheduled your work, your study plan according to what you need to achieve. Mocks every week. 2 hours is the mock that you have, right? I would in fact say 2 hours of mock examination and 3 hours of its analysis. Okay, so 2 plus 3 hours of the analysis, almost 5 hours. In a day, one mock, if that is going to take you 5 hours, I am asking you to spend approximately 300 hours onto it. You can do the maths, how many mocks you want to actually do it, right? Analysis, I would suggest 3 hours of the analysis, top it up with another 5 hours of practicing that mock all over again. Because when we analyze the mock, most of the time what students do is they reattempt the mock all over again and they try to see whatever was wrong. So what you do is you just go through the solutions. What you actually need to do is, why did I make that mistake? Most of the time, most of the students come up with like multiple answers, whether A hoga ya B hai. A bhi ho sakta hai, B bhi ho sakta hai. Initially, your first choice was A, B, okay, B. The correct answer was A. You know the answer, you knew that this is going to be the correct one, but still you end up making a mistake. What you need to analyze in those 3 hours is, why did that happen? What triggered me to think that it can be a multiple option? Hundreds of reasons are there, right? They looked similar, both had the similar meaning, both were mentioned in the passages. If that is the area which you need to improve, probably you might have to solve that kind of questions more. That's the analysis. You got to rectify your errors. There are so many times when during the mock, you score a negative, you score it incorrectly. But when you reattempt the mock, when you have all the time, you can answer that question with peace and you get it correct. That means it might be a silly mistake, or it might be something because of the hurry which you had, or because of the time that ticks on, you made that mistake. How am I going to avoid it? is the analysis what you need to do. So 2 hours of the mock, 3 hours of your analysis, and another 5 odd hours you should at least be spending doing the practice of those errors which you committed in that particular mock. That we are talking about approximately 10 odd hours of mock practicing. Even if you're able to get to another 30 mocks every week, I don't think you even have 30 weeks, you just have 16, 17 weeks, right? So even if you're practicing 2 mock every week, that will still help you to get across. 30 mocks, 10 hours, 300 hours altogether for your mock practice. Along with the same, you still have those 400 hours with you. Now, those 400 hours are like the additional practice that is required for you to understand that, okay, in that analysis, this is an area which went wrong. So I might have to get deeper into this particular section. Probably if it is English as an area, if you think that I am not able to increase my speed, so what am I going to do? In a month or two, will I be able to increase my speed? At least something can be done, right? At whatever you are at the moment, you can still increase it to some level. Maybe that can be a practice. Maybe you are not able to remember all the GK, all the current affairs stuff. Maybe that 400 hours can be utilized to practice GK. Maybe you can have, you might be familiar with all the principles in legal section. But as far as when the passage-based questions come in, you are not able to reason them properly. Then that could be the reason you are not able to score well. Then that's the area which you need to practice. You know the principle. How are they implemented? How are they, like, how did I, or how did the answer come up based on that particular principle? Practice that kind of question more and more so that you are at a finesse level to score well. Again, as far as concept is concerned, let me get back to there why I said 300 hours of concept. In general, what I meant with 300 hours is whatever is done, 90-95% of you might have already gone through the entire theory part of it. What you need is a quick revision. What you need is a quick recap. What you need is a brush up of whatever you have done. But how? I'll let you know in some time. All right. Any questions that you have on this particular part? Let me just check the chat. Okay. Any questions on this section? I am not saying that in the first 2 hours, what should you study? I'm not saying that aapne pehla, you should start with the newspaper, start of the day, then you should do English, then you should do legal. No, because all the students have a very different approach. Not all can study in the same manner. Now, you know yourself. You know that what part works well. There are some students who can get up early in the morning, who are early risers, who can do a lot of study in the morning. There are some who are like late nighters. सुबह उठना तो बहुत दूर की बात है उनके लिए, but probably रात भर जगने बोलो, they can study the entire night. I'm not even saying where is this 8 hours or 60 hours a week coming in. That I leave it to each of you. You decide how you want to do this. But minimum 60 hours is what is required. Plus, if you have any area wherever you're going for any kind of a teaching, any kind of coaching, that is up to you. But initially, you would still need self-study, because my recommendation would be, first you need to know where do you stand. Whatever, if you have not started up with, then start now. Start with a mock. Today you go ahead and write a mock and see where do you stand. It is pretty okay if it is a complete zero. That is still good. At least that's the best start to start. Because उससे बुरा तो और कुछ हो नहीं सकता. And I am sure आप minus में लेके नहीं आओ. इतना बुरा कभी नहीं होगा. Right? So start with a mock. Check where do you stand. Do that 3-hour, 4-hour analysis and try and understand why did you score went, or why didn't you score well? What went wrong? What is the area? In the 5 sections, definitely there are some areas which you would be able to score well. Might be more than one. Why just one? There might be 1 or 2 areas. I know that critical reasoning has been a little problematic area for most of the children. But I still know some students who are very good in critical reasoning, but then for them, maybe a maths is a weaker section. So check out what is that positive area for you, and even in that area, what is going wrong. Analyzing the strength will again take you ahead another step wherein you have to still decide, okay, from the strength, what all are left wherein I can even score much higher in that area. On the weaker side, that will again take you to another step wherein you will still understand, even in the weaker area, if I have like 10 set of weaker area, the top 2 is okay weak, and maybe the last 5 are the worst ones. If that's the case, maybe the okayish areas I can improve, and some areas in the like the 3, 4, 5 areas I can come and bring it up to the okay area. That means it is still giving me score, right? This is what you would need to do. This is what I meant by the analysis section. Start with a mock, practice the areas which would be important, which would be weaker, even the area which is like a strength area, how you can get more marks onto it. All right, since I did not get any questions in the area, I'm moving ahead. So let me just tell you a little bit about the organization which we're talking about. So EduCrack is the name of the organization. It's a venture of Lexicon group of companies. We provide online solutions to most of the competitive examinations. Like now we are talking about CLAT, the law entrance examination. We have MBA, the IELTS, IPM, BBAs, CUET, banking, SSC, campus recruitment trainings, and even UPS is what we would be looking forward for. The Lexicon is an organization which just came up recently. However, the EduCrack is a recent organization, but Lexicon has been there for the past 20-25 years. They have been into the education industry. They know the pain areas of students, and that is how the birth of EduCrack happened. With this, the mentors and the faculty members who are there. So especially if you look at CLAT as an area, I would be one of them who would be mentoring CLAT students. We also have Ram Mohan sir, who is an experienced faculty member. He has been training students for the past 23 odd years, has I think more than 1,000 or 2,000 odd students that he records, sending them to IIMs. Excellent faculty with critical reasoning and English. Few of you might already be aware about the same. We also have Ajay Jindal sir. He's a maths wizard. People also call him like a magician with numbers. Quick tricks and simpler ways of solving maths is what he's expertised in. Again, 15 years of experience, a highly experienced person. We also have Akansha Ranjan. She's a lawyer, been teaching, been in the law industry for the past 10 odd years, training and guiding and mentoring law students, both before and even after. In depth of legal knowledge with reasoning and how it can be implemented with this passage-based technique is what her specialty is. Same time, we also have Priyanshu sir, who is another expert in the LR and DI section. Data interpretation is his expertise. You take out any kind of a problematic set or a caselet to him, there is always a quicker way with him to solve that. The youngsters, especially in the law and CAT areas, people who study, they find him very much approachable because he's a young chap again. So he has a good rapport with the student and exactly knows the pain areas, how it can be solved. So again, an excellent faculty. We also have Dr. Savant, who is also an expert in Quant and LR and DI sections. So if you look at the panel, the mentors, all these are mentors for law and for other examinations. They are also ones who will be teaching you. At the same time, there is a small plan that we have designed. There is a batch which we are thinking out to come up with students who are yet to decide and get to a decision of whether to take CLAT 2023 all over again. This can also be there for students who are going to be there for the first time. I just want to take you through a couple of features. So the first feature itself that we were talking about is the 100 hours of concept clarity sessions, which would enhance the students' understanding of the intricacies of various topics. This link it with the 300-hour concept that I was talking earlier. 100 hours is what we would be doing as a session with you for each topic. There are 5 sections, so we would be spending another 100 hours teaching you, training you, revising you, taking you through all the important areas. Top it up with another 200 hours that you are going to have with you. In fact, you would be having, like I said, 300 hours should be additional to any of the coaching that you would be still doing. So ideally, you should have 300 hours, thrice the time that we would be putting it for you. Don't you think so? Right? It will be like revising the entire concept, one, when we would be doing with you, thrice when you would be doing it on your own. इतने बार करने पे भी आपका concept clear नहीं होगा, ऐसा आपको लगता है? होगा, जरूर होगा. You just have to believe in yourself and get that significant effort out of it. At the same time, one mistake that I always found the students making would be like, especially when I talk about CLAT as a section, it has a very different kind of a GK. It has static GK and current affair both. When you look at the syllabus, it talks about that it is only going to be the significant event for a particular period. Maybe, for example, if December is when this exam is going to happen, कहा जाता है 6 to 8 months, चलो पूरा साल ले लेते हैं. January to November is what the period can be considered. But what event are you going to think as significant event? Maybe the significant event for you is not significant for the examiner. हो सकता है. So what we did was, we tried taking it up. So just not the significant event. The height is, significant event is there, and you have the static GK of that significant event. How are you going to study? How are students going to actually practice that? We found a solution for the same, exhaustive coverage of all the significant events. In fact, I shouldn't be naming it as significant event. We should say all the events for the past 12 months prior to the examination, that is from January till December or November, December. We will be providing it to you along with the historical background of all these significant events, the write-ups, the articles, which is going to talk about what they are. Along with that, what kind of an MCQ pattern question can come out of it? That means the passage-based questions. What passages can be extracted from that article? That is how that particular booklet has been designed, and that's going to be prepared. There are a lot of experts who are sitting and day and night they're preparing this kind of an article. We thought that at least this way, student will not have to go and search for a lot of material. All the events and the static GK of those events would be readily available for you for the past, let me say, Jan till December. Excuse me. So GK current affair, that trouble gets taken care of over here. At the same time, there are some legal questions and legal reasoning which are based on legal current affairs also. So like we did it for GK, there's going to be an exhaustive session of legal reasoning, all the principles and current affairs which have been, so principles would be all the principles which you have already learned. When we talk about current affairs, again, for the past 1 year, what all affairs happened from the legal point of view, that would also be provided for students of this particular batch so that they find it easier to study. Again, what is more important? All of this comes up from a passage point of view. So they test, and these exhaustive elements are designed in such a manner that you see the article, from the article, how are the passages extracted and how those questions come up and with the answers. Not only that, you will also have the theory and practice sessions of all the key areas, especially the logical reasoning and legal reasoning and critical reasoning. So two of the areas which people find it difficult answering them. Again, how a passage-based question come up from these areas. How is the evidences looked onto it? How are the inferences found? What is the argument looked onto? How are the assumptions made? All of these things have to be covered. Most of the time, the challenge that the student faces with respect to the comprehension level. If comprehension ability is being looked upon, if you're able to improve the comprehension ability, 80% of the problem, as far as, I can't say 80%, 65 to 70% of the problem in your paper is taken care of. So these programs, these materials are designed keeping this particular part in mind. At the same time, this class, we have designed it in both, in an offline model also, and also in an online model. People who stay in Pune or nearby in the vicinity who can attend it offline, they can come and have a session here. People who are very far, who cannot come in, can definitely go for an online batch. In this batch is just not going to be there like a download. We designed this batch in a little different manner. We're going to have a 2 hours of your class where we're going to teach you the concepts and the clarity of your syllabus and concerns. At the same time, whatever you learn that day, you're going to get some kind of a class sheets and materials for you to solve, because each day you will be getting a booklet based on whatever topic it is. That means, let me put it this way. I have seen a lot of books like giving a lot of materials, and like some of those books, itna size hai, you can make actually a pillow of it and see onto it. So we thought of dividing every topic, theory of that particular topic, examples of that particular topic, and practice problems of that particular topic, all in one booklet. Kam se kam, at least the mind says that, okay, pretty patli kitab hai, padhne mein aasani ho. So 2 hours daily would be concept clarity, doubt clearings, and all those things. Another 2 hours, you would still be here, especially like people who are going to be there for the offline batches. 2 hour session done, probably a half an hour break, 2 hours again. What are you going to do now? In this 2 hours, the faculty will be still there with you, solving all the possible problems for that topic which you learned on that day. That means when you go back home, you already have a lot of theory, concept readiness, plus practice sessions also. Because where does the doubt come in? Only when you practice. So most of these doubts, if you are able to solve it inside the class itself, 90-95% of the problem is done, right? So now once you go back home, you just have to practice additionally on top of it. So doubt clearing, practicing, concept clarity, all happening for one particular topic on the same day. That is how this particular session has been designed. At the same time, once you go back home, you will still have your online portal with you, wherein we would be providing you near about 15,000 plus questions, both in the topic-wise format and also in those 5 sectional format. Excuse me. So these topics or these questions are again further bifurcated based on the difficulty levels. So topic-wise, again, you have the easy set of questions, then you have a medium set of questions, then you have a hard set of questions. Expectation is the day you are clearing your topics, the day you are finishing up with one particular concept, you get back home. Remember those 8 hours? You get back home and you practice easy and medium. At least easy, medium, all the questions should be practiced. We'll keep the sectional aside for a while. The way it should be going is like, in a week, you should try and attempt one sectional easy. I think you can attempt 2 or 3 in a week's time, because 15,000 सवाल करने के लिए आपको इतना time है भी नहीं. But you have this much material that is going to be available to you. Somebody who is going to solve all the 15,000 questions, वैसे ही जाके उसका अगर mock score देखोगे, he'll be definitely above 100 score. I can guarantee on that. On the other hand, let's talk about the mocks. Remember, I talking about the 300 hours which is going to be necessary for your mock practices. So we have 15 proctored. Let me say, altogether there are 30 mocks. 15 of them you can give anytime, whenever you want. You think that today you are ready to give a mock, go online, take a mock. I think we might have one odd mock freely available for you to take also. Go ahead, take one mock, solve it, see where do you stand. Like this way, you have 15 mocks. On the other hand, you have another 15 which are specifically designed to be taken on Sundays. If you want to come here and take the mock on an offline, exactly the same way how you go to the center, CLAT center, write the mock, that's the same way you can come down here, write it, same OMR, same mark sheet pattern, all of those things. Excuse me. People who are there at online, if you are not able to come down till here, you still have the feasibility to download that particular paper. Back at home, you can download it, fill up your OMR as you do it at the center, upload that answer key or to the online portal that we will be providing, and you will get your score and analysis. On top of that, all these 15 Sunday mocks, let me call it like Sunday ones, the proctored ones, we would be doing a video analysis and the solution of all the 15 mocks for you. That means how they should have been solved. The experts would be teaching you. They would be doing a video analysis. They would again be uploaded for your survey. You can view them whenever you want to. It would be available in the portal again. And all these sessions, which is going to be done, all are going to be done by all those same faculties which I just showed you some while ago. All are trained, all are experts in their domains. Because it is just not sufficient that you only go through the concept part of it, you only go through the mock analysis. No, you also need to undergo some kind of a strategy so that you understand where are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and how well you can improve. So they're going to be regular test-taking techniques and strategy sessions so that you can implement. You cannot have just one strategy that can be implemented for all. Like you have 5 of your fingers, none of them are same, right? They all are different. Each of you is different. Each of you have a very different studying approach, right? So the strategy, the technique might be different for all of you. That's why we might need to have regular test-taking techniques and these strategy sessions so that you get to understand that which is the best one for you. Along with the same, we will be having one personal mentor assigned to every student, one-on-one basis. The sectional and topic-wise test for students so that you can fine-tune your strategies, like the 15,000 questions which I'm talking about. That's the same thing which is mentioned here. It is based on the topic and sectional-wise. Now, the mentors which we are talking, we have thought that probably for students out here or offline, I and Ramsar would personally be mentoring these students. We would be mentoring them on one-on-one basis. Along with the same, we would be having monthly student, parent, and the mentor meeting. I am thinking that it is very important that the parent should also be a part of this kind of a session, because your support, I'm especially talking to the parent part of it here, that your support is also required. It should be a three-way game. It cannot be only the child doing it. It cannot be only the tutor or the faculty or the educator or the teacher doing it. Or it cannot be only they two doing it. You also need the parent support for getting it to the level. And I am sure I've met so many parents. All of them, they are ready to support whatever is required to for their ward, for the child to study. They are ready to give. And this is exactly how that plan has been designed. So we would have 1 or 2 sessions, one-to-one with the child separately, and every month we would at least have one session with the parent along with the child, like what support can be taken from the parent, what support is more required. Why we want to do this is because back at home, once you go back home, you are the only one who is there with the child. Probably we would be there for maybe 3 to 4 hours if you're going with this kind of a structure. 3 4 hours is not enough, right? 24 hours, we're talking about the remaining 20 hours you are there with them. So probably you might need some inputs from your end to fine tune it, right? So this mentorship support is also something that we are thinking about. The guidance for the form filling, another thing that is normally, which is already provided. So if you look at the entire structure, this is what would be covered in this kind of a program. Now, this is a program which is very specifically designed for the ones who would be giving the examination all over again, or who are ready to fight again and not to quit. That is why the name of the batch itself is ReSolute. That means every time they should remember that particular word, that there's a purpose, there's a reason why you are here for the same. The only challenge with the offline batch is because the effort that we're going to be taking for that offline batch is going to be maximum. We are ready to give our 100% out. I'm talking from my entire faculty member team who I have. Each of them are ready to provide everything that is necessary to get the child to their dream college. But what we need from your end is that equal amount of support. And because of that reason, there's a limitation to the number of students that we are taking. We will only be taking 20 students for the offline batch. Online batch, it may not be a problem because the control is not that difficult. But here for offline batch, we'll be only catering to the first 20 students who will be there. Now, these are the 2 batches. I didn't want it to make like a surprise. At the end, the most important part comes up to kitna hai. So this is how it looks like. The offline batch, we're going to start both the batch from next Friday. Why Friday? Because after Friday, it's going to be a Monday to Friday batch. And every Sunday, we're going to have the mock test. Saturday is an off day. So Friday, we'll start this batch. Saturday is an off day. But Sunday, we're going to start with the mock. We want each of you to write the mock. From the mock, wherever you stand, at whatever you are, we're going to train you and teach you from that level. That's the idea of starting this particular batch from next Friday onwards. So 26th is when we are starting up this batch. This batch is in the afternoon. The offline batch is going to be there for almost 4 hours. The online batch is going to be for 2 hours. Because it is difficult to monitor the doubt session. However, the faculty members would still be available for another 2 hours to help them to solve their doubts, to solve the queries which is coming in, right? The only difference is you will have to get in touch with them to get that thing done. When you're here, it's not a problem. You can directly be there because the faculty would be there with you inside your classroom to take care of that part. 12 p.m. onwards is when it's going to start. 12 to 2 would be a first session. It's going to be a half-an-hour break, and 2:30 to 4:30 would be the next session. Again, like I said, 2 hours of concept, 2 hours of practicing, solving, and doubt clearing of whatever problem happened for the concept which you learned on that particular day. These are the 2 fees, offline and online. If you think you would be interested for the same, you can try getting in touch with us. You can call on the number that is provided, or in fact, this would be the number. You can call on this particular number if you want to get much more information about this, or you can even call me directly. This is my number. if you still have any query about it, if you still think that whether I should still go for CLAT or not, if you still have a strategy issue or a study planning issue, you can still write to me. You have my email address also given on the screen. Hope I was able to answer to those queries, that whether I should be giving CLAT all over again, what will I be doing if I am not able to succeed. Because the problem starts when you think what will happen if not, right? So if you just saw the amount of effort that we are ready to take for you. If we are ready to do that much, if we believe that in 4 months it is possible, and if we are able to give our day and night to you, why can't you, right? And what is there to lose? Think about a win-win situation. That's what we just have to work upon. So right now, again, if you're planning for CLAT 2023, let's get ready. All right, thank you for being a patient listener. If you have any queries or any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be more than happy to answer. Any queries? Sumit, Swami. Sumit, I know you, but Swami, where are you from? What part of the city or country are you from? Swami, you able to hear me? Okay, I think you're not able to hear. All right, if there are no other queries, or I think there is something that came up. Topic test and section test would be available for both online and offline both. Whatever you saw in the features, it is going to be available for whether you take an offline batch or an online batch. The portal is going to be the same for all. The only difference is offline batch people will come here, sit here physically, face to face, we study. Online batch, you're back at home and you study. That's the only difference. Does that answer your question, Sumit? Okay, all right. All right, students, all the best, and think and choose wisely. See you soon.